In English land law, several key principles govern the ownership, use, and transfer of land. These principles form the foundation of property law and are essential for understanding the legal framework regarding land in England. Here are the main principles. 1. Tenure and estates. Tenure. Historically, all land in England was owned by the Crown, and others could only hold land through a system of tenure. Today, tenure refers to the type of rights individuals have over the land. Estates. This refers to the different types of interest in land. The two main estates are freehold estate, which is ownership of the land for an indefinite period, the most complete form of ownership, and leasehold estate, which is ownership for a limited period, typically under a lease, where the land will eventually revert to the freeholder. 2. The doctrine of tenures. This principle is rooted in feudal landholding practices, where landholders owe services or duties to a superior, eventually to the Crown. Though the feudal system has mostly been abolished, the doctrine still underpins aspects of land law. 3. The doctrine of estates. The concept that a person may have different types of estates in land, such as a fee simple absolute in possession, which is outright ownership, or a lease for a term of years, which is a leasehold interest. It distinguishes between ownership for life, for a fixed term, or indefinitely. Legal and equitable interests. Legal interests are recognized at common law and include rights such as the ownership of the fee simple or a lease. Equitable interests, on the other hand, are recognized in equity, like beneficial interests under a trust. Legal interests are enforceable against everyone, while equitable interests are only enforceable against certain parties, like those who have notice of them. Land registration. The Land Registration Act. 2002 mandates that many interests in land must be registered. The system ensures a clear public record of ownership and reduces disputes by requiring the registration of certain land interests, such as mortgages, freeholds, and leaseholds. Overriding interests. Certain interests in land bind new owners, even if they are not registered. Examples include rights of people in actual occupation, leases for short terms, and easements. These are known as overriding interests and are a significant exception to the requirement of registration. Fixtures and chattels. The principle that differentiates between items that are attached to the land, known as fixtures, and form part of the land, like buildings, and items that are not, known as chattels, which remain personal property, such as furniture. This distinction is essential in property sales and leases. The doctrine of trusts. Often, land is held by one person, the trustee, for the benefit of others, the beneficiaries. The trustee holds the legal title, but the equitable interest belongs to the beneficiaries. This is common in family arrangements or complex ownership structures. Adverse possession. This principle allows someone to claim ownership of land if they have occupied it without the legal owner's permission for a certain period, usually 10 years for registered land and 12 years for unregistered land. Covenants are promises between landowners that bind them in relation to the use of the land, such as promises to build in a certain way or not to carry out specific activities. There are two types: positive covenants, requiring the landowner to take specific actions, and restrictive covenants limiting what a landowner can do with the property. Easements are rights that one landowner has over the land of another, for example, the right of way or the right to run pipes under the land. Profits a prendre are the rights to take something from another's land, like timber, fish, or minerals. A mortgage is a legal mechanism by which land is used as security for a loan. The mortgagee, or lender, has certain rights over the land, such as taking possession or selling the property if the mortgagor, the borrower, defaults on repayments. These principles form the core of English land law and are fundamental to understanding how land ownership and property rights operate in England.